Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to explain to you how to get a 7 or above in the IELTS writing section. First of all, let's try to understand how the writing tasks are assessed. And we can do that by looking at the British Council official website. And the link for this will be provided right next to or underneath the video. So it's stated here that the writing task is evaluated by 4 different criteria. You have task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. And to get a high band, which is this right here, which is basically like a score, a high band or high score, what you need to do is you need to fulfill or accomplish these 4 criteria well. And an IELTS examiner would give you a band or a score for each criteria, and then they would add these scores together and then divide the total by 4, and that result is going to give you the total score which you would get for an IELTS writing essay. So let's go through each criterion one by one to understand what each criterion is about and what skills you need to achieve to get a high score from them. Okay, so the first one is task achievement. And in this criterion is about how well you understand the question or the topic and how well you're able to respond to that topic. So, for example, if you have to write an essay about environmental pollution and you write about something else, then you're really not going to get a high score for the task achievement part. So you really need to stay focused to the topic and you need to answer all the questions that are asked. Okay, so let's take an essay topic just for an example and talk about it. Okay? So let's just talk about this essay question. In some countries, the average weight of people is increasing and their levels of health and fitness are decreasing. What do you think are the causes of these problems and what measures could be taken to solve them? So first off, to stay focused on this topic, you need to address this issue. That in some countries, people are gaining weight and at the same time, their levels of their health or their fitness is going down. And then you need to give your own opinions, okay, about what you think are causing these problems. And then your own opinions of what you think could be done to solve them, okay? Um, so if you talk about something else, for example, if you talk about different types of gyms or sports or even gym memberships, even though this kind of goes along with the whole theme of health and weight loss, it's really not focused enough for the essay question, and you're going to get a low score. Again, if you only write about why people are gaining weight and why their health is decreasing, and you don't write about what steps can be taken to avoid this, then again, you're going to get a low score because you're not covering all the questions which are asked in the main essay question or topic. To get a high score for the task achievement part, it's super important to stay focused on the topic and to cover all the questions that are asked. Okay, so moving on, we can talk about coherence and cohesion. This section is all about how well you're organized and how well your paragraphs go together, how well your sentences flow together. A good essay should have between 4 and 5 paragraphs. You need to have an introduction, 2 or 3 main body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And if you organize them in a logical way, and if it's if it just makes sense to read, if it's easy to understand the content, then you're probably going to get a high score for this section. This is also about how well you connect the paragraphs and how they flow together. It's all about logic and being smart about arranging things in a way that makes sense. Um, and so using linking words well here it's definitely going to increase your score for this section because it's going to help you keep things organized. Moving on, we're going to talk about lexical resource. This is all about vocabulary. If you have a wide range of vocabulary, and you know a lot of different words, and you use them well in your writing task, you're most likely going to get a high score for this section. And to use it well is pretty simple. You just have to have a wide range of these words, and you just need to know where to use it correctly. But if your vocabulary is not good enough, if you just don't know a lot of words, you may need some time to learn more vocabulary words. And this is not something that you can do overnight. So if your vocabulary is poor, you might need to take a good amount of time to just study. Okay, lastly, we have grammatical range and grammar range and accuracy. This section is all about grammar. How grammatically correct are your sentences and how well are you using grammar? If you're able to make an error-free and complex sentences, you should be able to get a high score for this section. An example of a complex sentence is a sentence that contains a subordinate clause or clauses. And we can make complex sentences by using if conditions, the words because, although, which, and so on. But to use these connecting words correctly, you should have good skills in grammar. And if your grammar is not good, again, you probably need to spend some time just learning grammar, just so you can improve on it, okay? You can't, just like vocabulary, you can't learn grammar overnight. So you might need to spend a good amount of time just studying. So in conclusion, if your English skills are good and you have good vocabulary, you have good grammatical skills, you may need to spend some time just learning the IELTS test format. You may need to learn just some tips on how to complete the assignment and how to organize your paragraphs well based off what the IELTS examiners want. But if your English skills are not good in the sense of like vocabulary and grammar, well, you might want to consider spending a good amount of time studying general English, grammar, and vocabulary, as well as also learning about the IELTS test format and ways to organize your writing assignments. Okay, thanks for watching this video and tune in next time. Bye-bye.